So this is a time for the meditation. So we have just reflected on the virtues of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha as a reflection and also as a protection. And also support for our own well-being and happiness. And we also did the chantings related to the pandemic during the time of the Buddha. There was a pandemic took place. And Buddha gave this special chanting to the Ananda, who was the attendants of the Buddha, to go and chant, to give mental comfort and also warding off all the danger and the troubles the people were facing. And since the outbreak in Aberdeen from yesterday, we have also began chanting the same sutta, channeling it to all the people, those who are suffering from this virus, and keeping them safe with the blessings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Now this is time for the meditation, reflecting ourselves, reflecting on ourselves. In relation to tonight's talk, so tonight's practice again, I would like to focus on that in line with the talk that I gave this evening, which is on the thoughts. And the thoughts are simply created by coming to contact with the things. And knowing those thoughts, or being mindful of those thoughts, basically helps us to regain ourselves, the way we are, the way what we are, rather than occupied by our thoughts or preconceived memories. And it's such a beautiful to be mindful of everything that's taking place in the present moment, here and now, rather than having any thoughts to bring in, to define, to identify, to recognize such things. So in the practice of a meditation, in particular the insight meditation, that is the reason why we are told to observe as they are, rather than applying our perceptions, concepts, memories, theories, understanding onto the object that arises. And it is a nature of such that it will come and go. It has to arise and it will go. It won't stay if we do not offer a tea. It will just go. All what is important is to be able to be mindful as it takes place, as it happens, as it arises. At that moment, very moment when you recognize it, what happens is you began to disintegrate yourself from that object, from that thoughts, from that feelings. And you disconnect. So first, rather than identifying or recognizing, simply perceiving things that comes to arise in our mind, any feelings, any objects, any moments. And then the very moment when you observe it objectively, at that moment what happens is you disintegrate from you, from the consciousness and the object. You're simply observing it objectively rather than subjectivity, that this is nice, this is not nice, this is I like to keep it, this is I don't like to keep it, I want to let it go, and so things. So when you observe in that way, objectively, and with this disintegration, nothing to do with it, and you will disconnect from any relationship with it. So there is no relationship with anything at all. You're not building any relationship with the objects that comes to contact with you. The feelings, the emotion, the objects, the stories, whatsoever. And that is simply detach, a sense of a detachment from those worldly things that comes to contact. And this disconnect, what happens is the object will dissolve and you simply connect within. See? When you disconnect with the visitors, then you have your own place to connect, that you are within. You have plenty of time for yourself. That's connecting within. But as a humans, we do not stay with ourselves long time. We know that we have to be connected within ourselves. We know that we have to know ourselves, and yet very little we know about our own self, and very little we are connected to ourselves. And this is the place where meditation clicks in order to tuning ourselves into our own self, connecting our inner heart, inner self. And gradually you begin to know yourself, understand yourself. But obviously, to understand inner self, inner self, it's not easy. All what we are doing at the moment of a meditation, whether it is breathing in and out, or whether it is rising, falling of the abdomen, or whatever object that you have been practicing, the verbalization or mantra verbalization or so whatsoever, are simply learning the technique to travel inside, to understand our own self, to connect with ourselves. And again, this connection is not because I want or because by thinking, but experiencing. And that experience you can develop by redoing it again and again. And it's called anusati, means redoing it again and again. And what are we redoing again and again? Revisiting to the body, aware of the body again and again. Revisit and reviewing our feelings again and again. Being mindful of our feelings again and again. And revisiting our thoughts and our mind with a lust or a greed or a lustfulness or unlustfulness, or peaceful or silence, or feeling bored or a happiness or a joy. So revisiting again and again with mindfulness. An ability to understand things are impermanent, trying to learn this impermanent again and again. These are the foundation ground, the establishment of our mindfulness. These are the places that we establish our mindfulness or awareness. So, simply settling, grounding on those again and again. Revisiting again and again. Sometimes you may be able to be mindful of, other times you cannot. Then that's fine, and that's the beauty of the nature. We have no control over it. All what we do is to observe and mindful. So sitting comfortably and being mindful of that, and watch the play as it comes, as it goes, as it plays, as it stops. So continue practicing. In this way, or if you feel that you need somewhere to be or something to hanging on, then you may choose an object. Choose an object to work with, whether the breath or the abdomen that we normally practice, or whichever technique that you prefer, working with that. Remember, that is just the establishment of your awareness, standing on there. The rest of other things you will be mindful of gradually, one after another. So continue practicing, being aware and ability to comprehend as they occur, or simply working with the primary object. again and again. Practice of loving kindness meditation, so relax yourself. And bring your attention to the body and aware of sensations in your body. And bring that attention to your hands and aware of your hand, sensations in your hands. And bring that attention to your heart. Feel the beating heart and generating loving kindness and compassion towards yourself. I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. And similarly sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, whatever beings there are, particularly in this time, sending loving thoughts to all the frontline workers in Aberdeen City and in any country, those who are working so hard for the safety of the public from this virus. Whatever merits that I have accumulated, may they rejoice in it, and with that may they be well and happy, no harm come to them. May they be liberated. And as you hear the gong slowly coming out from meditation, and reflect for a while. Let's pay respect. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhaṃ Bhagavaṃ Abhivade Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namassāmi Suvadhipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Thank you everyone for joining with us for the practice, and this is the end of our practice for today. Thank you, Renu. I hope you're keeping well in New Zealand and keeping safe and there is no outbreak. So take care and good night.